Good morning. Well, it's vacation season here in Japan. It's Golden Week, as they call it, which means it's a time for everybody to skedaddle. That means go off and take their trips. So it's kind of quiet around here this week. It's happy Showa Day to everybody. Showa Day celebrates the birthday of the late Emperor Showa. It's also Children's Day this week. I bet you didn't know that. Greenery Day. And there's one more. Oh, Children's Day. Did I mention that one? And so happy Children's Day. We had a little Children's Day party at our house. And this weekend we'll be celebrating Greenery Day. Find a tree and hug it, I guess is what I recommend to everybody. And so it's, as I said, everyone's off to their hometowns and taking little trips. So it's just a quiet little ZAZENKAI today around here. Glad to have the company of all of you. Our Shingen actually has discovered that he's working overtime today a little bit, but he's going to be here in a while. This is the first I just want to note, this is maybe the first ZAZENKAI without Shingen in about 15 years, something like that. He's been here. I can't remember the last time that we've had a ZAZENKAI without Shingen, but we're in Kyonin and Sekishi's good hands. Good to have you here. And of course, Onkai and Melanie. Good to see you here. Kind of a new face. Lovely. I'm glad you found us. Well, if you've been here before, you know what to do. And if it's your first time, just follow along. But would you all just wait a minute and stand Zazen, because I'm going to do something to strengthen our internet signal for a second. I'll be right back. Thank you for waiting. Sekishi, you'll be impressed. I made a very special technical adjustment to strengthen our internet signal. I opened the window in my office. Oh, and before I forget, Kyonin, Feliz Cinco de Mayo. Eh? Okay. If you've been here before, you know what to do. And if it's your first time, just follow along.
Maka hanya haramita shingyo Kanji zaibo satsugyo yin hanya haramita nisho kengo kai kudo saiku yakusha ishi shiki fui kuku fui shiki shiki sokuze kuku sokuze shiki yu sogyo shiki yakubu nyoze shari shize shohoku sohu shohu metsufu fufu yofu zofu genzen gofu churu shikiru yu soyo shikiru benni ze shinimu shikisho komi Toku homu genkai nai shimui shikikai mumu myo yaku mumu myo jinnai shimuro shiyaku muro shijinmu kushu metsudo muchi Yakumo tokui musho toko bodai satari anya haramita koshin mukege mukege komu muku fuwandi saiten sofu yone hansan ze shotsue anya haramita kotoku wa nokutara sanyakusen bodai kochi hanya haramita zedai jinshu zedai myoshu zemu yoshu zemu todo shuno yoi saiku shinjitsu fuko setsu hanya haramita Shusoku setsu shuwatsu yate yate hara yate hara so yate goyi sowarta anya shingyo. The identity of relative and absolute. The mind of the great sage of India is intimately conveyed west and east, while human faculties are both wise and dull. In the way there are no northern or southern ancestors, the subtle source shines clear in the light, the branching streams flow in the dark. To be attached to things is primordial illusion. To encounter the absolute is not yet enlightenment. All spheres, every sense and field, intermingle even as they shine alone, interacting even as they merge. yet keeping their places in expressions of their own. Sights differ primarily in shape and character, and sounds in harsh or soothing tones. The dark makes all words one. The brightness distinguishes good and bad phrases. The four elements return to their true nature as a child turns to its mother. Fire is hot, water is wet, wind moves and the earth is dense. I am form, ear and sound, nose and smell, tongue and taste, the sweet and sour, each independent of the other, like leaves that come from the same root. And though leaves and root must go back to the source, both root and leaves have their own uses. Light is also darkness, but do not think of it as darkness. Darkness is light, do not see it as light. Light and darkness are not one, not two, like the foot before and the foot behind in walking. Each thing has its own being, which is now different from its place and function. The relative fits the absolute as a box and its lid. The absolute meets the relative like two arrow points that touch in midair. Hearing this, simply perceive what is, make no criterion. If you do not see the way, you do not see it even as you walk upon it. Walking forward in the way, you draw no nearer, progress no further. One who fails to see this truth is mountains and rivers away. Listen, those who would perceive this subtle matter. Live well your time by night and day. Buddha nature pervades the whole universe, reality existing right here now, in reciting the heart of the perfection of Great Wisdom Sutra and the identity of relative and absolute. We dedicate our sincere efforts to Shakyamuni Buddha, Honor One, the historical Buddha and teacher, and to those ancestral teachers, Eihei Dogen Honor One, Soji Keisan Honor One, all successive Honor Ones up until Suigaku Renpo Honor One and Gudo Wafu Honor One, to all other Honor Ones throughout history, male and female Honor Ones whose names have been forgotten or left unsaid. We also dedicate these efforts to the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, to all awakened ones and teachers in all places and times. We especially seek tranquility and well-being for all creatures now suffering or ill in health. May they be serene through all the ills. May their lives be at peace and wisdom pervade the darkness of ignorance. We dedicate our hopes and aspirations to all victims of war and violence and natural events, to the injured and to all families touched by these tragedies, to the healing of hatred in all countries and among all peoples, to the wisdom and compassion of our world leaders, to the peace of the world and harmony of all beings, thus let the harmful effects of words, thoughts, and actions be dispelled, and compassion bloom in perpetual spring. May we all realize and live the enlightened way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time. All Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Maha Prashnam Paramita.
Zazen? Get in. Zazen? we will have a long kinhin. We will now have a little talk, followed by Zazen. Yonin, we're going to have the verse to open the sutras. I like it. A small, intimate gathering today. Good. Okay.
The Dharma, incomparably profound and infinitely subtle, is always encountered yet rarely perceived. Now we see, hear, receive, and maintain this. May we all realize the Tathagata's true meaning. The Dharma, incomparably profound and infinitely subtle, is always encountered yet rarely perceived. Now we see, hear, receive, and maintain this. May we all realize the Tathagata's true meaning. The Dharma, incomparably profound and infinitely subtle, is always encountered yet rarely perceived. Now we see, hear, receive, and maintain this. May we all realize that the Tathagata's true meaning.
Lovely to have you here today. It's a small, intimate group of friends. So let's just forget all the distance, and we're just sitting here. If anytime during the talk, anything you want to say, just raise your hand and hop in today, because we're just sitting around the circle all together here. The subject is oryoki, which is something I've spoken about before. It's our formal way of taking meals in Zen. Sometimes it's called mindful eating, but it's really, I would say, grateful and sacred eating. Doing something in our normal day-to-day life that we sometimes rush through, especially in this day of going through the drive-through, or even just sitting around opening a package of something and sitting around the table. We don't necessarily always take time to realize how wondrous it is that we can be here alive to be, well, eating, and that the food supports our life. It makes it all possible, and all that goes into that. Oryoki also means literally just enough, just the right amount in the bowl. And when we eat an oryoki the way the Buddha taught, you placed in your bowl without thinking about, this is bitter, this is sweet, this is something I like, this is something I don't. You take it all, and that's our attitude towards life as well. Now, of course, if somebody puts some poison in your bowl, best to avoid that. The Buddha actually, at the end of his life, somebody did put something that basically killed the old boy, and he died of from food poisoning, according to the old stories. But before that, the Buddha said, but don't feed this to anybody else. So we take that to say that, please. Oh, we have a visitor. Zazen fellow. He probably didn't know today was Nagai. Okay, good, good, good. He'll be joining us. So I take that to mean that the Buddha said, avoid the poisons in life. Oh, konnichiwa. 今日座禅ちょっと長いですけど、ちょっと話していますので、話しているほとんど英語だから座ってください。自由にね。Okay. So we avoid the poisons in life. But we take otherwise whatever is given, the happy, the sad, the bitter, the sweet, but avoid the anger, the greed. Dozo. And Oryoki is a wonderful practice. It's also a dance in which we pour ourselves into eating. Dozo. 書きになってください。座禅でもどうぞ。And in the movements of Oryoki, we pour ourselves like any dance, and we find ourselves again. So Oryoki is a wonderful practice. And Shugen, as you know, has an online Oryoki circle here at Treeleaf, and he's going to begin that again very shortly. So that's another reason to talk about this. But you want to know? Actually, my subject today is not Oryoki, at least not directly. It's about the chants that surround Oryoki that sometimes we rush through. Oryoki ご存知ですか？いや、知らない。ああ、そう。じゃあ後で説明します。とりあえず、座禅。And sometimes we recite these chants and we don't really listen to what they're saying or how they touch us. This chant is not just about Oryoki, and Oryoki is not just about eating. It's about the whole life. This is a chant that we do for the Oryoki service when you have formal eating, and when we meet in San Francisco, for example, for our retreat there, many of us, we're going to have a formal Oryoki sitting. And when we do our annual retreat, we have Oryoki. But ごめん、日本語の文準備していない。ごめんなさい。今日ちょっと practice your English, please. He speaks good English. He needs to practice. So this chant is actually something for guidance for all the way to live. Let's look at what these chants actually tell us about all of life. When Oryoki begins, we remember our traditions and we remember the Buddha, of course, always the Buddha at the beginning. And here they recount the life of the Buddha, where he was born in Kapilavastu, where he sat under the Bodhi tree in Magadha, where he taught in the sacred city in India, Varanasi. And when he finally died, left this visible world, we say he went on to ultimate nirvana in Kushinagara. As you know, in last couple of months, I was at the end of the year, I went to India and I visited these places. And my talk, all of these events are right where you are now when you realize them. They're not something distant. You're the one who makes the Buddha to be born. You're the one who brings enlightenment to reality in this life when you act in an enlightened way. You're the one who teaches through your actions, through your wisdom. And you're the one who realizes actually the ultimate, where the Buddha transcended even this physical body, when you realize so. And someday we all go to the same place the Buddha went, I think. So that's how we begin, with a remembrance of the life of the Buddha. And then we open the food But we open the food bowls not thinking about ourselves. 自分のことじゃない。折り置きはね、お寺、食べ物の儀式です。So we open the bowls and we don't think just about ourselves, even though we're taking the food. We read the verse for setting out the bowls. Now we set out Buddha's bowls. May we, with all living beings, realize the emptiness of self-cleaning and the three wheels of giver, receiver, and gift. Really, we're not thinking about ourselves. We're thinking, may all beings have nourishment. Okay. No. Okay. David Loy came to visit us this week, and he spoke about being an engaged in the world bodhisattva. Isn't this what is being talked about here? That we just can't take for ourselves. We must take for all the sentient beings, with the wish that all sentient beings may also be nourished. All the world so have enough to eat. Oryoki means enough. Enough in the right amount. All the world, all sentient beings should have enough in the right amount. And also they should know, though, the freedom of the emptiness from self-clinging. Usually we run after our food. We're greedy, not only for our food, but all things in life. All the things we want that we think will make us happy. We cling, we're attached, we hold on for dear life. Our Buddhist way tells us to let go, to allow, not to cling. Hopefully we receive enough to let us live, but anything else, as the saying goes, is gravy, is whipped cream on the sundae. I wish all human beings have enough to eat. Oryoki means enough. Anything after that is extra. Don't cling to it. Don't run after it. May all living beings realize the emptiness of self-clinging, and that giver, receiver, and gift are one. Another beautiful perspective of our way is we think that we give a gift to someone or we receive a gift, but it's all in this world a great wholeness, a great realization. If you go to a park, for example, and there's a homeless man and you give a sandwich, you may think, oh, I'm so wonderful, I'm giving him charity. He's giving to you. In traditional Buddhism, he's giving to you the opportunity to be charitable. And also in Buddhism, when you feed the homeless man, your own mother, your own father, yourself. I know it's hard for us to realize that the whole world should be seen as a family or ourself. But from the earliest time, the Buddha, in his Sangha, said that the Sangha is one. The members of the Sangha are not individuals only, but they give and they support and they sustain each other. And it is a family. His monastery, Eiheiji, it was a large family in which all the members were really just one. Now, neither Buddha or Dogen figured out a way to spread that to the whole world. But these days, many of us are thinking about that. Is not the whole world our Sangha? Is not the whole world our monastery? And I don't mean just as life is our temple, like we say here at Treeleaf. I mean, are we not all brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers here? Is not every hungry mouth in this world yours as well? The giver, the receiver and the gift are truly one. When you feed someone, you feed yourself. And when you receive a gift, the universe giving it to you. You know, we were talking with David Loy's book that everything that happens in your life is stardust. I know that's kind of corny. It sounds like an old 60s song, but it's true. Everything in the universe, from the Big Bang to the stars, to the planet, to the sun shining that makes the grass and the plants grow, to the fruit that grows on the plants, to the animals that eat the grass, that sustain us, that give us milk and eggs and everything else we eat, that arose here. The whole universe, this is going to blow your mind, man. The whole universe is putting food in your mouth. The whole universe is giving you air to breathe and water to drink. 知っていますか？ Big Bang からね。今ね、このすごい地球ありますね。水ある。ね。食べ物あるね。だから、食べているときはね、宇宙の全体食べさせている。お、すごいでしょ。All right. Now we go on to the verses of the Buddha's names. And this again is more remembrance and gratitude, but it also, when we look at who these names are or what they stand for, they are our teachings. And it's not just about Oryoki again. This is a gratitude for all of life. So in the midst of the three treasures, the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, we're going to talk about who the Buddha is, but the Sangha we spoke about is the whole family, the whole community, the whole world. And the Dharma is the teachings of the reality of this whole world. In the midst of the three treasures which verify our understanding, our entrusting ourselves to the Sangha, we recall homage to the pure Dharmakaya, Vairocana Buddha, boundless, to the complete Sambhogakaya, Lokana Buddha, symbol of perfection, to the manifest Nirmanakaya, Shakyamuni Buddha, a man of this earth. What is this? This is one of the hardest things for even some Buddhist teachers to get around. At the Buddhist group, the Soto Zen Buddhist Association, I think it's okay to say this, the teachers are actually discussing what is the Sambhogakaya. A lot of people are not clear on this. It's our kind of version of the Buddhist Trinity. So let me take a stab at it. And by the way, today's talk is also an introduction to this wonderful book by Okamura Roshi, Living by Vow. We're going to get into it in the book club. Shohaku Okamura, America de Yume na Nihon no Obosan. And he will go into this again. And we're going to go touch on all this again. But this is my introduction to it. The Nirmanakaya Buddha was basically the historical fellow, the guy who lived in India, who was born in Kapilavastu and died in Kushinagara. And we're grateful and we're thankful to him because he was the philosopher, the brilliant, who offered us as his gift these teachings. When he left this visible world, people found other meanings for the Buddha, which are not just the historical man. Just like you are Kyonin and you are Sekishi and you are the people sitting here, but you're also something beyond words. And what is that beyond words? The Dharmakaya Buddha. The Dharmakaya Buddha is the Buddha who did not die because never born. not in India or America or Mexico or Europe, everywhere. Beyond categories, beyond judgments, beyond names. Whatever that is the Dharmakaya Buddha. You've heard me talk about that so many times. Even to say or try to describe this, I'm already doing an injustice. The name Dharmakaya or the name Buddha on this makes it a thing, an object, separates us. You're not separate at all. The opposite of separate. When the heart knows this, that is beyond all division, beyond all place and time, beyond the names Dharmakaya or Buddha or any other name we can think of it. This is the Dharmakaya Buddha. And then for a long time in Buddhism, that's all you had. Dharmakaya Buddha and the Nirmanakaya Buddha, the historical Buddha here on earth, and then Buddha, which I sometimes say the Big B Buddha. And of course, people said, well, let's get a little fancy here. And some wonderful Buddhist inspired individuals, religious thinkers, found another Buddha. And I say another Buddha because that's the wrong, because these Buddhas are really different faces. The historical face on earth who lived in India, the faceless face, that's the Dharmakaya Buddha. And then this Sambhogakaya Buddha, sometimes called the enjoyment Buddha, the reflection Buddha, the Buddha that even confuses all those other Buddhist teachers at the SCBA. It's the ideal. Already, the historical Buddha, as you know, during his life, people started to raise him up into something, a Superman. 釈迦さんは人間でしたけど、だんだんね、スーパー人間になりましたね。He's got a body of gold and light comes out of his eyes. And, the Buddha you see in the paintings and the statues. The Buddha, for example, sitting on our altar. And this is the human heart to me. When we take all the beautiful things that the Buddha represents, generosity. Let's take it to the infinite generosity is the Sambhogakaya Buddha. Peace. Buddha represents peace. The Dharmakaya represents a peace so great it's beyond even the word peace, but in between, just peace to the extent that the human heart can imagine peace. The symbol for that, with a big P, is the Sambhogakaya. If the Buddha was good, this is goodness beyond good. If the Buddha was loving, this is love beyond loving. This is the symbol for the Buddha that we see in statues, who is a human form but gold. A human form, arms and legs, but the body is perfect. A human form, but Buddha, long earlobes, a place between the eyes where the light comes out, special gold halo, and Buddhas in the paintings surrounded by images of other Buddhas. The most that the religious heart, the religious imagination can come to convey what a Buddha should be. This is the Sambhogakaya. And sometimes when we sit Zazen, we know this Sambhogakaya in our heart. Lokana, who's here, is a long story and that I've been actually researching the last couple of days about how Lokana is this figure that is between Vairocana. Vairocana is the Buddha of the sun and the wholeness that's sometimes taken to represent the Dharmakaya. And Shakyamuni is the Dharmakaya and is the symbol. If you have, sometimes you make a statue of Lokana to represent the Sambhogakaya. But it's interesting to me what she is, or who she is. And I use the word she, you have to put an asterisk on that too. She's female. Was a man. Vairocana is kind of beyond it all. And Lokana, in many teachings, is a woman. Why is this special? First off, there's not enough women in Buddhism. Anytime a woman comes up, we got to focus on this because it was a man, boy, you know, how many times did they take male teachers and male Buddhas? There are a lot of women in Buddhist, not only living teachers that we don't remember enough in the past, but also in the symbolism. Canon Bodhisattva, who we'll talk about in a second, was a man and then became a female figure of compassion. This too, this figure is, but you also have to put an asterisk there, and this is also very beautiful for this current age where we're becoming more open to people of different sexuality. It's not clear. Lokana is female, but also neither male nor female. This is important too for us to recognize. Even Shakyamuni, who was a man, Vairocana, not quite male or female really, and Lokana, a female figure, not just male or female. Canon Bodhisattva was a male figure in China who became female in the images now, presented as a mother figure, neither male nor female, and all at once. All right, let's go to the other figures here too. Maitreya Buddha is the hope for the future. We have our Messiah too. We need a symbol that Buddha will come back. This has been Maitreya or Maitreya Buddha. There's a few guys around the world right now, some of them popping up on the internet I see from time to time, who proclaim that they are Maitreya Buddha to come back. Just like there are the fellows who proclaim that they are Jesus who has already come back. Them. But according to our tradition, Maitreya is the next Buddha who's waiting somewhere in his Tushta heaven and will someday come back. A hope for the future. We thank all the Buddhas of the past, present, and future in all directions. Not all of them have names, or we all remember there was the one Buddha who lived in India, but there are countless Buddhas, even Buddhas in your life right now who are countless, some hard to see. Sometimes the Buddha is disguised in a way that makes it very hard to see, but there are countless Buddhas in your life, and yours too. Buddhas in your life sometimes. There's the Lotus Sutra, which we honor in our tradition. As you know, many times in his Shobo Genzo would speak from the Lotus Sutra. Consider the Lotus Sutra to be the Buddha, one face of the Buddha. Manjusri Bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is a Buddha who stayed in this world, in the muck, in the chaos, to help us. But again, these are symbols. You're a bodhisattva. I'm a bodhisattva when you act to help. But these, again, are symbols of humanity. And what are these symbols? Manjusri Bodhisattva is the symbol of wisdom. When you realize emptiness, when you realize the true meaning of these teachings, this is symbolized by the great Manjusri Bodhisattva, Mongen. And then we have Samantrabhadra Bodhisattva, who is not just an awareness of wisdom, it's action, man, bringing the wisdom down into this world, making it real. And Samantrabhadra also reflects, in another meaning, the deep interconnection of all things, Fugen Bodhisattva, great activity. And then Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, Guanyin, Kanun Bodhisattva, Kanun Bosatz, who is compassion. But again, the ideal of the best of humanity, compassion, symbolized by Avalokitesvara. And you make these bodhisattvas real. When you act in your life with compassion, as I always say, in your eyes are the hands and eyes of Kanun. Kanun, the symbol of great compassion. And then we say again, to all the bodhisattva mahasattvas. Bodhisattvas, mahasattvas are not different things. It just means those bodhisattvas. It means the bodhisattvas. And again, like there are untold Buddhas, there are untold bodhisattvas in your life. And then, of course, to the perfection of wisdom, Maha Prajna Paramita, which brings us around again to the Dharmakaya, kind of. We just say thank you. Well, I thought this was going to be a short talk, but I have a way of stretching things out, don't I? Better get moving here. When we receive the food, we express the gratitude. And again, you should do this for all of your life. This food of many benefits comes from the efforts of all sentient beings, past and present, and is medicine for nourishment of our practice. We offer this meal of many virtues and tastes to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and to all life in every realm of existence. May all sentient beings in the universe be sufficiently nourished. Thank you to all. And let us give this meal to all. And it's not just a meal. When anything happens in your life, this week my son was sick, he's better now. I went to the hospital. Thank you. Coming home from the hospital. Says that again, going to the hospital. Thank you. Who am I saying thank you to? The Dharmakaya Lokana, I guess. Everyone, all the Buddhas, to the whole world. Please. Thank you. May all beings be healthy. Thank you. Here, may all beings be nourished. Giver, gift, and receiver, truly one. And then again, we express where this food comes from, everything in our life. We reflect that the labors of the workers around here in Scuba, it's just like in America now. Is working in the fields. You look, there are people from Thailand, from China out there, leaving their families. In the United States, people coming from Central Mexico, Central and South America to work in America. And we don't appreciate these people. Now we just want to say, get out. We don't think about this. all the people. There was a woman from Haiti when my mother was sick, 80 years old, and my mother couldn't take care of us. This woman from Haiti took care of my mother. All I could say is like an angel, sometimes sacrificing her own family to take care of my mother. When my mother would fall down out of the bed, this woman would pick her up. When my mother was dirty, she would clean her. When my mother was hungry, she would feed her because her son was not there to do it. Are we not grateful to all the people who support us? And we want to say, thank you. Go home. I'm sorry, this is as political as I'm going to get today. But anyway, we reflect on the labors that brought us this food and consider how it comes to us. Second, as we receive this offering, we should consider whether our virtue and practice are worthy of this receipt. Don't think you deserve anything, folks. I mean, of course you deserve. I'm not saying you're bad and you should feel that you're unworthy. Feel grateful. Worthy beyond unworthy or worthy, and grateful at the same time. We regard greed as an obstacle to freedom of mind. I don't think I need to explain any of this. We regard this meal as medicine to sustain our life. Whatever's placed in your bowl, don't think, oh, I like this, I don't like it. It's all medicine to sustain your life. To attain the way to keep us going, we now receive the food. Then we give some to the hungry ghosts. Now, the hungry ghosts, are they really creatures living out there hungry? That's one way to take it, that there are spirits in the next world, a world we can't see, that are actually in kind of a state of such greed. But I don't know about that. But I'll tell you about the hungry ghosts in this world and in my own heart, who always, hoshimono, hoshimono, dakara gaki, 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 mono hoshi, hoshi, manzoku dekinai, right? And this says, please know to be satisfied. Please know how to have enough. You should know what it means to have enough. And for them, we give a little food as a symbol that nobody in this world should be hungry. But more than that, not only that, everyone should know satisfaction, something we've forgotten in this. Even the richest people, look at us in the United States and other wealthy countries. We don't know enough. Enough. We want, I got 5 pairs of sneakers. I need 5 more. What a silly people we are. Someday, the future, people are going to laugh at us and maybe cry for us a little bit. But anyway, we raise the bowls. This is for the 3 treasures again, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. And we express gratitude. It's for our teachers, our parents, the whole planet, all sentient beings. I changed it a little. In the old days, they used to say, and for the emperor, and for the king, and for the president, and whoever, our leaders, may they be wise. Boy, may they be wise, our leaders. This is for every being in all realms of existence. We eat this food with everyone. We eat for everyone. We eat to end all suffering. We eat to be harmless and to act in a beneficial way. We eat to save all beings. We eat to keep us going, not for ourselves, but to help this world. We eat to accomplish the Buddha way. The first portion is to end all evil. The second is to cultivate every good. The third is to free all beings. May everyone realize the Buddha way. May everyone be free. And at the end of eating, now we wash our bowl. And even then we think, oh, I'm getting rid of the dirt. There is no dirt. I think I'm doing a task. I hate to wash the dishes. I hate to take care of. No, listen to how we wash in Buddhism. And then think about your own life, not just in eating, but all of it. The water with which we wash our bowls, ambrosia, ambrosia, this sweet, tastes like the dishwater from washing your dishes is perfume. We offer it to all who thirst, that they may be satisfied, and may the fires of greed and our excess desires be quenched. There was a Dharani at the end of that again, nobody knows quite the meaning of. And I confess, I've taken it out of our Treeleaf version because I'm not a Durrani guy. But you know, even I have mixed feelings about this. What does it mean? If you want to say it, it's all right. Let's say it right now. Onma kurai sai soaka. What does it mean? Whatever it means, it probably means everything we were just been talking about. That's what it means. And lastly, we have the verse of purity while abiding in this world. We get back into this world, guy, of the muck and the hunger and the things to do and the places to go and the jobs we must do. Abiding in this ephemeral world. Ephemeral means impermanent. Everything's changing. May we exist in muddy water. We're like the flower that comes out of Doro. Doro karaderu hana. With purity like a lotus. The boundless mind. Oh, that sentence. Don't rush through that. Nothing, the beautiful, the ugly, the war, the peace, the sickness and health, the birth, the death, the smiles, the tears, the win, the lose, the up, the down. Nothing escapes the boundless mind. Thus we bow to Buddha. Gasha. Okay, so it's kind of a whole manual on how to live. Now, any question? Comment? Kyonin.
Thank you, Yundo. It's just a comment on the Oryoki chants, which I hold very close and dear to my heart because they pretty much saved my life. And they are very powerful because they make you understand and change your relationship to food, which I really had a problem with back a few years ago. And just wanted to say that when you practice these chants with all your heart, with all honesty, and try to see through the words, you actually start to feel the connection in life, in everything you're eating, right? If you're having a Twinkie, it's not a magical Twinkie. It didn't appear just out of thin air. It's a result of millions of years of evolution and countless lives giving their lives to other lives. And it's a huge connection that we should be grateful for. And to actually see this makes you understand that food is medicine for you. And the analogy here is very easy to see. What happens if you have a complete bottle of any pills or aspirin? You would pretty much get sick and die. Food is no different. It acts like a medicine. If you abuse it, it would kill you. It will take a little bit longer, but it will definitely kill you in not a pretty way. So I understood this.
Kyonin knows what he's talking about. Kyonin, you used to be about twice as big as you are now. Or pretty,
yes.
Not twice, but pretty, yeah.
Pretty close, yes.
Kyonin a few years ago took to healthy eating. So he's someone who walks the walk. That's why when he says that, you listen. And but I have to say one thing, Kyonin. Even to me, once in a while, a Twinkie is sacred. I have to have my Twinkie. Just once
they are.
Any other comment? Yeah, sexy.
Just to go with the Twinkie thing. I had two things. One, to go with the Twinkie thing.
Can you talk in the mic a little more?
Sure. One of my favorite expressions is from Carl Sagan. He said, if you want to bake an apple pie from scratch, you have to first create the universe. Which that very nicely. But I had a question also for you, about Dharmakaya.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could talk about the difference or sameness between Dharmakaya and Shunyata?
Okay, I just did. That
Thank
was
you.
too. That was too corny, wasn't it? That was too Zen corny. Yeah, they're the they're the same, but these are just names for things. You know, it's just two ways of approaching the same thing. That you how do you approach something that has to approach something you have to have some distance. How do you approach something that has no distance? You know, that's what all these koans are about. So really, I think I just well, let's go spend some time sitting, and that's how I'll answer the question. Okay. All right. Last chance. Any more questions? You got a question? No? Okay. Any question? Okay. Zazen is not always a matter of long or short. Sometimes we sit long. Sometimes we sit short. We tend to sit short around here when the teacher has been long-winded, as I have today. Kyonin, would you recite the verse to close the sutras, and then we'll just sit.
May the merits of this teaching penetrate into each thing in all places, so that we and every sentient being together may realize the Buddha's way. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Maha Prashna Paramita.
Zazen. We will have a short kinhin. 今短い金品です。時々座禅は長いことじゃなくて、短いことじゃなくて、時間とかけない。ね、金品。 最初の土曜日、朝8時だから今日のスケジュール、いやいや、楽に入ってるいいですけど、スケジュールちょっと違います。お昼まで続きますけど、もしスケジュールなんか行くところあれば、早く帰ってもいいですよ。心配しないで。けど、朝から8時座ってますので、今ちょっと腰痛いから、ホキポキわかりますか？はい。ホキポキは、アメリカの結婚式、短い、楽しいダンスです。けど、体、動きますね。今、ホキ、頑張ってください。私たちの伝統になりました。OK。多分わかると思いますね。見たら。はい。It's hokey pokey time. Ready? Here. As I was explaining, hokey pokey is an ancient Buddhist tradition. Was borrowed from the Buddhist tradition to become part of American weddings and bar mitzvahs and the various other like events. So now we will dance the hokey pokey. Mina gasho. Migi no te dashite. Migi no te, pull your right foot. Wait, I gotta start again. Hand out, put your right hand in, put your right hand out, and shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey, turn yourself about. That's what it's all about. Put your left hand in, pull your left hand out, put your left hand in, and shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey, turn yourself about. That's what it's all about. Put in, put your right foot out, put your right foot in, and shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey, and turn yourself about. That's what it's all about. What's on this called hokey pokey? His first time hokey pokey. Left foot in, left foot out, left foot in, shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey, and turn it all around. That's what it's all about. You put your butt in, you put your butt in, pull your butt out, put your butt in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and turn yourself about. That's what it's all about. Zazen. Tokidoki. Serious no toki. Tokidoki. Real whole language. You were serious. Can't hear. We will now recite the metaverses, followed by Zazen. 時間大丈夫ですか？本当に楽乗りに座ってください。これはね、東南アジアから来ました。今日、メタ、日本の仏教でも、今、アメリカの禅宗でも、今人気になっています。意味、わかると思いますけれども、世界中の人、自分でも、悩みがないように元気じゃないときは、それでも満足、平和、いろいろ、お願いします。けど、一番、最初はね、自分、その後、親戚、愛されている人、その後、友達、その後、ほとんど知れない人、その後、難しい。人生に、世界に、難しい人、そのアイデアはね、もし、例えば、いろいろ、ごめんなさい。I have to explain this in Japanese. 例えば、キミロさん、韓国から聞いたんです。今いろいろありますね。もし、その方の心に、平和、満足、悩みがないと、そういうことしない。そういうアイデアから難しい人でも、通じます。けど、自分の人生の中でも難しい。例えば、問題を起こす親戚とか。本当にその人はね、今、いろいろ嫌なことしますけど、もしね、心が平和なら、そういう人じゃない。だからそういう立場から。大体通じました。はい、OK。So, okay. There's my chance for you to all to relax for a bit too. Please sit, relax. We do it English, but Japanese is either way.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, as I always do, as I was explaining about the metaverses, this is something that I had a guest in my house last night, Burmese scholar. His wife is Japanese. He's from Burma, and he's a geologist, but very serious about Buddhism in the Burmese style, and was explaining to me the Burmese attitude, very conservative in many ways, and many things that even his wife was a little critical of. For example, leaving too much of life to the Buddha. I don't want to get into it, but it was a very, very interesting discussion. But when I told him that we recite the metaverses, he said, "Oh yes, I do that every day. I do that every day too." And so that was a beautiful common point. You don't just say these words; we must actually feel them. With the same idea that in your heart, if you say something with anger and you really feel it, boy, it has an effect on the world. The life around you makes this world a little uglier. If you say these words now, really feeling with sincerity, it adds a little bit more a drop of compassion, loving kindness, beauty into the world. All right? We begin with ourself. No reason not to say these beautiful things for ourselves, someone we love, a friend, someone we barely know, a difficult person in our life or the world, and then all sentient beings. Okay? We begin with ourselves. May I be free of suffering. May I feel safe and still. May I be free of enmity. May I be loving, grateful, and kind. May I be healthy and at ease in all my ills. May I be at peace, embracing all conditions of life. Okay. Now for someone in our family, someone we're close to, we love. Right? Okay. May he be free of suffering. May he feel safe and still. May he be free of enmity. May he be loving, grateful, and kind. May he be healthy and at ease in all his ills. May he be at peace, embracing all conditions of life. Okay? Ima tomodachi, a friend. Okay? May she be free of suffering. May she feel safe and still. May she be free of enmity. May she be loving, grateful, and kind. May she be healthy and at ease in all her ills. May she be at peace, embracing all conditions of life. That was for someone who recently lost her husband in my life. I wish her peace. Okay, next is someone we barely know. ほとんど知れない人。例えば、店のスタッフとか。All right. May he be free of suffering. May he feel safe and still. May he be free of enmity. May he be loving, grateful, and kind. May he be healthy and at ease in all his ills. May he be at peace, embracing all conditions of life. Okay? Now, the difficult person can be a difficult person in your family, in your life, at your work, or a difficult person in the world. And I used as an example here, I said, you know, we're in Japan, and it's very much a concern here, North Korea, because we're very close to North Korea, too close to North Korea. So I said, you know, if you might chant, it's a very shocking thing, you might chant for the leader of North Korea, Kim Il-sung, with the idea that, not that you're a Kim Il-jong supporter, of course, but that if he knew peace in his heart, if he knew satisfaction, if he was not afraid, if he knew loving kindness to people, the world situation would not be as it is. See, I'm not saying you have to chant for Kim Il-sung today, but someone difficult in your life, if you find that you can wish them well, it eases your heart. And also, if their heart was eased, they would not be so 難しい。大体過ぎました。May she be free of suffering. May she be safe and still. May she be free of enmity. May she be loving, grateful, and kind. May she be healthy and at ease in all her ills. May she be at peace, embracing all conditions of life. Okay. And now for all sentient beings. 宇宙中、世界中の生き物のために。May we be free of suffering. May we feel safe and still. May we be free of enmity. May we be loving, grateful, and kind. May we be healthy and at ease in all our ills. May we be at peace, embracing all conditions of life. Okay. Well, mochoto zazen. Mochoto zazen. Ima no tokoro demo. All right, let's sit a little more. You can just sit where you are if you want. We will now recite the verse of atonement and the four vows.
All harmful words, thoughts, and acts ever committed by me seem so bold, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind. Now I atone for them all. To save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way unattainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable.
Okay. Arigato. Thank you, everybody, for spending your golden week, your precious golden week time with us. Shingen, thank you for making it after your long day of overtime. Good to see you. And Kyonin, Cinco de Mayo, this is better than going out and dancing all night and drinking tequila, I'll tell you that, right? And everyone else, good to see you guys. Peace to you all right? See you later. Bye.